I experienced the travel to Morocco this time in a completely different way to many of my journeys before, because it was connected to photography. Practicing and learning photography is also completely different if you have two photographers right at your side. This was extremely inspiring. I heard some interesting stories about traveling in Morocco as a woman. Therefore, I would not have traveled alone for the first time, but it turned out completely different to what I expected. Through the guidance of my two photography trainers, I never had any problems, and I never felt obliged to buy anything, just because I wanted to take a photo. Instead, I felt very safe and well supported and was able to focus completely on the photography process itself. Das ist jetzt einfach nicht der Fall gewesen. Also ich habe mich da richtig eingebettet gefühlt und vor allem einfach begleitet, weil ich mich wirklich auf das Fotografieren konzentrieren. Also ganz ehrlich, ich habe nicht wirklich Erwartungen gehabt. I didn't have any expectations at all. To combine the travel to Morocco with learning about photography just felt like I want to do this. This combination just thrilled me. I knew I have to find out about the culture and how to deal with taking photos, facing all these impressions. Sometimes it is better not to have expectations, but allow yourself to go with the flow and transfer this to photography. There was an overwhelming variety of subjects and inspirations that just blew my mind. So it was a challenge to focus on what seemed important to me. Das sind Impulse und das hat so passt. Also Fotografie mit Marokko. All these inspirations you get in Morocco come together with photography, but also getting to know to yourself and to challenge your personal boundaries was an issue. I challenged my limitations, connected with people, and asked for a photo, which was important for my personal growth. During this week, I have learned a lot of things I used to avoid before. This was an insane development for me personally. Das klingt einfach genial. Also, ich glaube, man hinterfragt sich schon, was ist eigentlich da gemeint? Und das Geniale ist, das kann sich ja selber, jeder selber eigentlich ein Bild davon machen. Und this is genius because everyone can give his own meaning to the saying of a life-changing experience. For myself, I got very clear about it after a week. What was my experience and what have I challenged in my life? To be honest, I believe that I have become another person during this week, because it was an awesome experience on different levels. First of all, my photography, but also in regard of the culture and the people. You are embedded in a totally different environment than what we are used to. This was a completely new experience. But also the range of encounters was amazing. We even dived into the Medina, as well as visited Berber families in the Atlas Mountains. These heartbreaking, highly emotional encounters make this workshop very special. And it is the reason why I will take part again next time. I feel like I'm just right there, and therefore I will come again. Also ganz spontan ist so über meinen eigenen Schatten springen. Answering spontaneously, I would say that I learned to get out of my comfort zone, connect to people and ask them for a portrait. Personally, I love to get in touch with people, but in cultures I am not so familiar with, I very much hesitate. Asking a stranger to take a photo of the person or in a spontaneous situation was very challenging for me. I learned to ask myself whether I want to take a photo or not. And if I would like to take a portrait, I should ask for it. This was one thing that taught me a lot. Another thing, I have a lot of ideas. In Morocco, you perceive too many inspirations to be able to capture them all. Because you end up with thousands of photos of crap. But in the end, you would like to compress it to 5 to 10 photos to tell your very own story. This was also a challenge, to focus on what I want to show and tell. I don't have to capture it all. I do better to focus, or even capture with my heart. Stay in touch, live the moment, and keep it in a good memory. The workshop changed my idea of how to see, because now I understand better what storytelling can mean. We are surrounded by things happening around us, and if you ask yourself what you want to make visible and tell to others, as a photographer, this is a huge learning opportunity, because it also makes clear what is needed to capture a good shot.
Fotografie ist ein Mittel, sich weiterentwickeln.
Photography is a vehicle for personal growth. You can develop your personality anywhere. But if you are embedded in a different surrounding and by people you can always share with, your own personal growth is always present and everything else is built on top of it, like in a modular system. It all comes together and it is connected by photography. Exploring your interest and finding your voice in photography essentially leads you to where you want to go. I never thought about this before. Instead, I just took snapshots. But, during the workshop, my photos were just insane, and I now have a lot of joy presenting my work to others.
So geniale Bilder und es macht auch Freude, das den anderen zu zeigen.